If your therapist reinforces fear, they are not holding space for you. They are holding you hostage to the fear. Welcome to the Sobriety Bestie podcast. I am Kirsten, your hostess and your friend today, as we're going to dive into the topic of, is your therapist stunting your growth? Specifically here in our Deprogramming AA series, I'm talking about if you have a therapist who is inside Alcoholics Anonymous. Even if they claim to understand that there are other paths to sobriety, to recovery, or leaving recovery, if your therapist is inside Alcoholics Anonymous, to me, that is a huge screaming red flag. Run for the hills. If they are still in the cage, they're going to be working with you from an ideology that is a cage. Do you want to be in a cage or do you want to be free? Let's dive in. Okay, so you cannot heal from the same mindset that broke you. If you're trying to heal from Alcoholics Anonymous and to reclaim your mind and your agency and your autonomy, AA, as we've discussed before, it reinforces learned helplessness, powerless, and shame. So a therapist who is still immersed in AA culture is often unconsciously bringing those beliefs into the therapy room. This is not healing. This is reconditioning. And that's not the vibe. You can't deprogram with somebody who's still inside the program. The unconscious indoctrination still lives inside of the therapist's mind if they have not been there. So you're still being controlled by the rooms. If Alcoholics Anonymous has not left your therapist's head, it's not leaving yours completely either. This is my opinion. I am just some chick on the internet. Don't listen to me. Trust your gut. Trust your critical thinking. And this is self-trust and critical thinking. Those are the vibes here. So many AA therapists, they're not malicious, right? I'm not thinking that they're malicious or saying that. They generally think that they're helping, but they're still operating from a belief system that limits your identity and your path forward. You can't fully be seen by a therapist who sees your autonomy as a threat. If they're still in the cage, they're looking at you through a cage and guiding you from a cage. Imagine if you had a guide, a therapist, a mentor who was born in prison and spent their entire life in prison, no matter how good they were at helping you navigate traumas endured or that occurred in prison or whatever. If they've never been out of the system, they're talking to you from inside the system. You need somebody outside the system. That is my opinion. What do you think? Let me know. Drop it in the comments. Do you have an AA therapist? Would you ever hire an AA therapist? I think hiring a therapist who is inside Alcoholics Anonymous is dangerous. Maybe if you're in your first couple years of sobriety, that's different if you actually want somebody who speaks the AA language while you're in AA. But my honest opinion, I don't think, this is brutal, but I'm not here to bullshit you. My honest opinion is that never hire a therapist who is inside Alcoholics Anonymous. Yeah, it's brutal. I don't want a guide who's in a prison, no matter what. Even if I'm in AA still, I would want a safer AA approach. I'm all about AA harm reduction up on this channel, up on this Sobriety Bestie podcast. So I would want a harm reduction AA support system, somebody who can see inside and outside, somebody who has a broader perspective to freedom, to healing, to autonomy, to agency, to self-trust, to liberation, because I want to get free. Like, I don't want to stay in a cage. I want to understand where I'm at now. So if I'm wearing a cast because I have a broken leg, if I'm in a recovery community because I am in early sobriety, right? Because I think of those as analogies. They're like similar. So I want the cast for a while, then I want to break free. I want a doctor who knows I need to take the cast off when I'm well, when my leg is good enough to hobble on with my life. I want a therapist or a guide who is smart enough or evolved enough or has a broad enough worldview and understanding of everything to know that the being in recovery is a phase, like wearing a cast is a phase, and that at some point I'm supposed to go beyond that and live autonomously with my own agency, not depend upon a sponsor or higher power or a group, but to actually do my own thing and recover, be recovered, leave recovery, just like you leave the cast from your broken leg. I want a leader like that. That's what I want. It doesn't matter what I want. It only matters what you want. This is about what you want, and this is about you thinking critically about what makes sense for you. I'm not saying that you should fire your AA therapist if you have one. I'm saying, think about it. What do you want? Who's your guide? Who's your guide? What do you want? What do you want? Answer the questions for yourself. That's all I'm saying. It's something to think about. The power dynamics matter. Therapy should rebuild your agency. And if you're in AA, it's like a false agency that's being built. It's not a real agency because you're dependent upon the system, not upon your own internal compass. Your internal compass is not encouraged. And you may believe that you are following your intuition when you're inside Alcoholics Anonymous, and I was and I did, but there is still a cap. It's like literally, it's like being in jail. Yes, there is freedom inside the system, but do you want to be in a system? I don't. What do you want? What do you want? So if you are constantly being redirected towards AA dogma or told that you're in your disease, that's obviously not empowering. If your therapist reinforces fear, they are not holding space for you. They are holding you hostage to the fear, to the ideology, to a system that was written by a salesman in the 1930s. I am feeling inspired to bring this up is because there's been some therapists in the comments, in the DMs, messaging me, and I wanted to point out that there's like two different types. There's the ones in AA and there's the ones not in AA. And the therapists who are in AA who've been engaging with me in my own anecdotal experience. This is not a randomized, controlled, blind, double-blind study over here. This is just, I know this one specific individual. I know that them from my early sobriety. So from 2009 to 2011-ish, I know this individual. We were never friends, but we were in meetings together. I know them. They're currently a therapist. And they recently, because it's been a month now that I've been talking on the internet about that I left AA 5 years ago, right? I was in AA 10 years, left 5 years ago. Been talking about it for 1 month now. And this therapist who's still in AA believes that they have an expanded worldview and open mind around there's other paths to recovery, and they tell their clients that. I know this because they literally commented this on my Facebook. But also, this therapist was offended when I said something like, those who are brainwashed can't see that their brains have been washed. That's how it works. And this individual was highly offended at this post that I put out there. And I can see why there's some offense, but really this is about waking up. I'm talking about freedom. If you can hear me, I'm talking about freedom. I don't give a fuck what institution or what person or whatever, what system. I'm talking about breaking free. And so right now I'm talking about freedom from outdated ideologies that keep us stuck like a cage that trap us, and outdated labels like alcoholism, and outdated ideas, not facts, not actual medical diagnoses like dry drunk and untreated alcoholism and all the other baloney that well-meaning Bill Wilson, who was a legend in his day, but it's just not that day anymore. It is like 90 plus years later. So although he was, sold as something great in the 1930s, it's just not relevant anymore. So people who are still stuck in that ideology and are leading you can only lead you within that system, even when they think that they are seeing a bigger picture. Because this individual, this therapist, is saying they see the bigger picture, but then they're offended at the idea of brainwashing. And I would think, okay, somebody on my Facebook page is all up talking about brainwashing. What does that mean for me? How can I learn here? How can I grow here? What ideas am I believing that might not be mine? Like if something triggers you, you spot it, you got it, right? So why am I activated by this thing? Have I been brainwashed? Isn't that a great question? Because I'm asking myself those questions all the time. When I get triggered by something, I'm like, I usually try to ask, how is this true? Is this true? Where is the truth in this? There's usually truth in things that trigger me, and I don't want to miss it. I want to get the vibe. I want to evolve. I want to be empowered. So I'm always looking for, how can I use this to wake up? How can I use this thing right here that is activating my system? Like I feel angry, disturbed, annoyed, irritated, something. I'm having a feeling. I caught a feeling. How can I use this thing for my evolution? I love that question. Let's be on growth mindset team. Use everything for our growth. Let's not be on a fixed mindset and get trapped in outdated baloney. Let's wake up, evolve, and get, can I say it? motherfucking free. Okay, let's do it. Are you with me on Team Freedom? Let me know in the comments, because I'm here on Team Freedom. If you want to stay trapped in an ideology, have at it. You have the freedom to do that. I'm actually interested in actual freedom, where I'm questioning things. I'm using critical thinking. I'm having agency. I'm trusting myself. I know that what I feel inside can be trusted, and I'm going in that direction. So this therapist, yes, well-meaning, cannot see the cage that they are in and claims that they can. But I do not think it's possible. And I'm not trying to be, I don't know, like rude or fill in the blank. I'm not trying to be mean with this. I don't think that you can truly understand something until you leave it. Like specifically, I don't think you can understand Alcoholics Anonymous fully unless you were in it, totally in it, meaning you believed the baloney, and then you left it and you deprogrammed and you logically and critically thought with modern science and with your own brain. You got out of the groupthink and you examined it. Right? Isn't it, can I say it? Content prior to investigation leaves a man in everlasting ignorance. Is that what's written in the back of the big book? Let me know if I misquoted that. What, Herbert Spencer? So if you think you understand Alcoholics Anonymous and you've never left and deprogrammed, this might sound really arrogant, but I think it's true facts. Do you know what I mean? How do you understand it if you haven't actually experienced it? How do you know what it's like to give birth if you've never given birth? How do you know what a rose smells like if you've never smelled a rose? How do you know what a panic attack actually really is if you've never experienced it? It's one thing to talk about it logically, but to have a direct experience with an like overwhelming experience of life, with an overwhelming full-on embodied like panic attack or smelling a rose or having sex, something that's like, you know, a big experience. How do you really know what it is unless you've gone through it? So I don't think we can really understand Alcoholics Anonymous fully unless we're outside of it, especially if we've gone through it and popped out. Otherwise, you're just in the ideology saying the ideology is fine or that you can see past all of the hurdles. But can you? If you got fully in there, because not everybody gets fully in there either. So there's obviously nuance and stuff like that. Then there's also another therapist who's recently been commenting on my stuff who really is here to learn, explore, expand their mind. You know, whether you agree with what I'm saying or not, it doesn't matter. It's about thinking. These videos that I'm making about deprogramming AA are not about thinking like me and not even so much learning from me. They're about critically thinking in you, like waking up your own critical thinking. What's true for you? I just want to share my truth as a dissenting view, because there's not many people that will just be honest about what it's like to leave AA and how hard it can be and what it's like to go through and what they actually believe now. In fact, most people like won't say it. And it was so hard for me to go through that experience of deprogramming because it was so silent and anonymous. I felt like I couldn't talk about it, and I felt like nobody else was talking about it either. So there really wasn't a guide. I was piecing together different things. I was studying because a lot of it's intellectual. It's breaking down the mind fuckery, literally it's like unfucking our mind. I made a whole course about deprogram. It's called Deprogram. It's deprogramming AA, and it's like unfucking your mind. From AA, from Bill's ideology, getting Bill's ideas out of your head. And that's the freedom. A lot of it's psychoeducation. A lot of the deprogramming from cult-like or full-blown cult or high control groups. AA is for sure a high control group, but it's about getting the programming out of your mind. It's unfucking your mind. If you would like to go further and know more about my course, it is down below. It is called Deprogram. It's Deprogramming AA. There's lots of links below. There's free ways I can help you move forward. And then there's the paid courses as well. Have a look-see at the links. So the question is your therapist stunting your growth? And I would say that if you have a therapist inside Alcoholics Anonymous, for me, the answer is 100%. And maybe if you're in early sobriety, that's okay. Maybe trust yourself. I'm not saying fire your therapist. I'm saying consider that these people are humans and that some of them are going to be possessed by ideologies. Tomorrow on the Sobriety Bestie podcast, how to find a qualified therapist. And that will be advice directly from a cult expert. I will be telling you their ideas on how to find a qualified therapist. Yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you today on this Deprogramming AA podcast episode experience, sobriety bestie vibes. Hope you had a fun day today with me here. Definitely join the conversation in the comments. I'm really just here to spark the conversation, and I'm more interested in hearing from you and your thoughts. So I'll see you in the comments. Have a great day.